Have you ever wanted to shoot a film that has been used to diagnose lung diseases? I mean, this is pretty niche even for us, but do not worry, this is an ISO 100 black and white film that can be used to take wonderful and relatively normal photos straight away. So please do sit back and enjoy our review of Washi F. Quick one before we get started. If you like film photography and want to see more videos like this one, film reviews, tips and tricks, that kind of thing, then please do make sure you're subscribed to our channel and notifications are turned on. Thank you so much. Washi F is a fluorographic X-ray film. This is the second Washi film to feature in the Wonderbox after Washi D a few months ago, and that was all about military aerial surveillance film. And we go from military to medical today. The original use of this film was in Eastern Europe. Special medical trucks were loaded up with kilometers of this film and mobile X-ray machines, and they would go around the countryside visiting smaller towns, villages, and X-raying everybody's chest cavity. The film would then be taken back to a central point for processing, diagnosing, and then the results would all be sent out at once. Now, of course, the world has moved on from that predominantly to more digital machinery for this kind of thing, but the technology and the film remains. Fluorographic means that it's not actually the X-rays that are creating the image on this film, which is good news for everybody. Although most photographic film is sensitive to X-rays, in order to create an actual image of a person or a building, you would need so much X-ray radiation that you would blast everything nearby in existence. So thankfully it's not that. The way that it worked is that this film would be loaded into cartridges along with some fluorescent liquid, which reacted when X-rays hit it by glowing. So it wasn't the X-rays being captured on the film, it was the glow of the fluorescent light being captured as X-rays hit that light, hence fluorographic. What that means for this film is that it doesn't have an anti-halation layer, because when it was in pure contact within this special cassette, the liquid was right there, it didn't need it. Now, of course, you put this film in your 35mm camera and the light will pass through it. It's quite a thin plastic base, bounce off the back of your camera and create these lovely halos. Think similar to Cinestill 800T, also has no anti-halation layer. It's the same sort of concept that bright lights will create halos, which gives this the really beautiful, slightly ghostly look to the images you will see from Washi F, and is very characteristic when you see it. It also means no anti-halation layer, means our old friend light piping is back, which of course, as you'll remember, when the film is like this, light can enter the film base and bounce around inside all the way inside the roll. Now, the reason I'm not panicking about this one is because Washi very kindly sent me a dummy roll to do this filming, so I won't waste anyone's film, not even my own. However, when you get your own roll of film, if you load it in daylight, you have to work on the assumption that the first 6 frames are going to be totally exposed to light already by light piping, simply by loading it in light. Now, fortunately, Washi have thought of this already. This is a 24 exposure film, but they have already given you an extra 15 centimeters of film compared to normal, which is equivalent to those first 5 or 6 blank frames. So you load the film in daylight, you just wind past the first 5-6 frames before you start shooting, and you will still get 24 frames out of this. Now, of course, you could take it out of the cartridge, load it in your camera in the dark, in a changing bag, and then you will get 24 plus the extra 6, so some bonus frames if you're interested. You could also load it under a red safe light, because this film, like Rolly Ortho recently, is orthochromatic. It doesn't react to red light. It didn't need to, because when it was in its original intent as a fluorographic film, that light emitted wasn't in the red spectrum, so you didn't need to pay for the film to be panchromatic. Orthochromatic was absolutely fine. So this film is orthochromatic. It will have all the features that we talked about with Rolly Ortho, but frankly, it's going to be the fluorographic nature and anti-halation that give your images a distinctive look, probably more so than the orthochromatism, although that is obviously still there. The film backing is a nice, lovely light blue, which is quite interesting as well. ISO 100 medium contrast. So this isn't a particularly scary film to shoot, especially compared to some of the low ISO ones we've had recently. You can pop this in your camera and take it out and shoot it in normal situations. It did originally come in large format, but Lomig from Washi tells me that didn't sell very well. His belief is that people who wanted to carry around a large format camera and take it up a mountain with all the gear and all the weight probably weren't that interested in something that was a bit experimental or originally used for X-ray and chest cavities. They prefer something that they knew they could get good results on. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, in 35mm, it is absolute flyer. So I'm really excited to bring it to the Wonderbox. For Wonderbox shooters, please do let me know any questions or thoughts below. If you've shot it before, please do share with everyone the images and any hints, tips or tricks. What the community says, it has 5 reviews and they are all 5-star. People say it is very interesting. It gives a ghostly look. The grain is reasonably strong. The contrast is moderate. Portraits work really well. They give people's faces something slightly different, but also everyday scenes. So for me personally, I'm going to be loading this in a camera and just shooting everything with it and seeing what happens to faces, to street photography, to a bit of landscape, to maybe some macro work. What do all of those subjects look like under fluorographic, black and white, old X-ray film? That's what I'm excited for. As I say, let me know any comments or thoughts or questions below and we will make sure we answer them to help you get the best out of this film. Otherwise, please do shoot and enjoy. I'll see you again soon.